Okay, thanks. This is kind of a problem with the camera. It is, it is. Good morning. All right, let's try this. Keller. Very good. I think you can do better though. So Keller. Yay, very good, very good. Welcome. I am so glad to see all these smiling faces in the room. And I think we've got 21 people online right now. So we've got a good crowd today. I think we're going to do on-time drawing first, right? Sure. I must not have gotten this one on. I'm sorry. Yeah, that should work. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'll let you. I think I think they cut off on time a couple of minutes ago.
All right, drum roll.
Drum roll. Here we go. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Lodi. Yay. Congratulations, Lodi. Very good. So $25 off our office bill. That's always good. That's always good. Before we get started today, I just felt we needed to take a moment, and I'm going to try really hard not to be political at all, but to think about and remember some people across the pond over there and what's going on. Okay, no, a flag. There's supposed to be a flag. No, before that, is there not? Okay, that's okay. There, thank you. So, in true Keller Williams fashion, you know, through the years, we have shown up around here for people when there have been earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes. You know, we've loaded in our cars and we've gone to New Orleans, we've gone to Galveston, we've gone to South Oklahoma City and the big tornado down there and done things to help those people. And I think it's important for you to know that since Keller Williams is now worldwide, there are people in that region of the world that are stepping up in the Keller Williams system to help the people from Ukraine. And they had a nice article in the out front that Jeremy brought to my attention. And it's long, and I don't want you to have to listen to me read all of it, but there were some things that I wanted to share from you from that. I think I heard last night 1.7 million people have left Ukraine to neighboring countries. And the Keller Williams worldwide president, Bill Soderoff is his name, said across our network in Europe, the United States, and Canada, we have agents, market center leadership, and regional leadership that are either from Ukraine or have relatives still in Ukraine. This humanitarian crisis touches us all. And as it continues, our agents are still trying to do their job because they still need to feed their families while helping those affected. Our Keller Williams regions acted quickly by partnering with relief agencies, opening up their market centers to refugees, and contributing goods. So I'm going to highlight just 3 or 4 countries. Keller Williams Poland, of course, has gotten the bulk of these refugees. There are over 650,000 people now that have entered Poland. In addition to shelter, transportation, and essential items, the team committed to donating a part of the company's currency to Polish Humanitarian Action, which provides aid to refugees. And Keller Williams Poland will be donating 10% of royalties from the month of March for the same purpose. Our agents support refugees from Ukraine by making financial donations, coordinating the search and rental of flats, and providing legal support in cooperation with the notary's office. Some associates use their own cars to transport Ukrainians from the border to their cities or provide their own homes. We are proud and grateful that we can work with such supportive and committed people. That's a pretty good time to show that one picture. Gina Settersey posted this online yesterday. Imagine these and mothers, because you know the dads are not able to leave Ukraine, standing for hours on end, holding their children, you know, kind of corralling them, sitting on a train for hours with them on their lap. And this was a picture of the train station in Poland where mothers had taken their strollers and just lined them up and left them. So those mothers that got off of that train would have something to put their little one in. I mean, it just touched me. I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And then I heard on the news that there was also a place where they were putting car seats also. So when they were able to get in a vehicle, they had a car seat to secure their child. So I thought that was a great picture. Also in Romania, another country where Keller Williams is located and many refugees have gone. Keller Williams Romania representative shares women and children crossed the border and had to be separated from their husbands and fathers. I was overwhelmed by the warmth with which they were received by the Romanians, offering them accommodation, meals, and encouragement. Thus, I did not stand aside and initiated a call to colleagues in Keller Williams. And they then have been distributing mobile heating systems for refugees and redirected donor initiatives to Habitat for Humanity. So, you know, even though they're a long way from us, they are doing some of the same things we would be doing right here. Keller Williams, Czech Republic. There's a tremendous wave of solidarity with Ukraine in the Czech Republic. There are many collection points. People offer apartments and rooms. Trains and buses for refugees are free. People drive their cars to the border to pick up women and children they do not even know. They send trucks from their companies to transport things to the borders. Lawyers provide free advice. People stand at collection point to receive and distribute medicine, water, food, and clothes. And then also Keller Williams, Portugal. Even though Portugal is a long way from where they are, the Keller Williams Portugal team is deeply involved with helping refugees. Portugal is the most distant country from Ukraine in Europe, and we expect to have refugees due to their connections to the Ukrainian community in Portugal, and through some of quota to be established with the European community. There's a large movement in the real estate sector in Portugal that is preparing for that moment, identifying vacant homes and associations that could accommodate the refugees. And in some of these, they also talk about their local board of realtors working on this. So, I mean, it just, I'm so wish Seth were here to hear me say this, but it warms the cockles of my heart to know that Keller Williams is alive and well across the world, helping people in need. So let's see. All right, someone else is not here, so let's just click over. I thought this was a beautiful picture and I just wanted to share it with you because I know everybody's hearts are reaching out to those people in the Ukraine. So just had to do that little moment there. I am beyond excited today that we have a special guest. I don't want to call him a guest. I consider him a friend. And I just think it is a great opportunity for you all to pick the brain of the person that I'm always referring to and talking about in the nicest way, David, by the way. I just want you to know that. But he is the lead investigator with the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission. He's been with the commission for a number of years. I found out a little more about him today, so I want to share that with you. He said something about being a part of a team and playing football when we were on the phone yesterday. And he actually played football at Southeastern Oklahoma State University in Durant. I don't know where Tracy is, but I was gonna pull her out in Durant. And he was a two-time All-American there. And there's one other thing. Distinguished former student, is that it? That's right. That's right. And he joins the likes, he'll just die when I do this, but he joins the likes of distinguished students from Southeastern Oklahoma State University. Is Dennis Rodman, we'll forget that one. But Reba McEntire, whoa. So I give you my friend from the Real Estate Commission, David Hall. Come on down, David. And I'm just going to kind of let David take it away and do his thing. And oh, and I've covered up his book. All right, you're on.
I'm on. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I first want to say congratulations to you all, because Keller Williams doing the things that they're doing, helping in a country that's having turmoil right now. That is an awesome thing. And also to be a part of that an organization that's reaching out in that way, that's hands down to you guys. I'm not sure if this is on. I don't even know if I need it. Okay. All right. Again, I am David Hall. I'll try to use my preacher voice. Okay. All right. I'm David Hall. I've been with the commission since January of 2017. I really, really love my job. I do. I love coming out, working with you guys, answering questions. We do so much more than investigations. When I call Susan, she's always like, and then when it's something simple, she's like, whew, I didn't know. I don't know how she sleeps really. You guys probably put her through the gamut of not getting any rest. And you know what? She told me yesterday that she's been in this business 44 years. That's awesome. But I was only 10 years old when she started. But anyway, what I want to do is I want to they've given out a list that we can kind of go over. I want to point a couple of things out in this. How many of you know what this is? It's online version. There's an online version, but this is the code and rules of the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission. Show of hands. They told me not to do this. How many of you are familiar with what this is? Way up, be proud. Okay. Okay, if you didn't raise your hand, when you filled out an application, you actually signed on that application that you have read and know. And that is a violation to falsify an application with the Oklahoma Real. So next time somebody asks you if you know what this is, just raise your hand. Whether you know it or not, raise your hand. Because there is, like I said, there's an online version. I brought a hard copy for Susan today. We just got them in, and we don't have very many, so everybody didn't get a copy this time, but it's online. And this is one of the things when we get calls from licensees, and I'm like, they should know that. This is so important to your business. You should really get to know what's in this. Now, if we had to say what should you know, in the front there's a code 858-312, and there's a few violations there. That's about 23 of them that you should really become familiar. We're not going to go over them, but look those up and become familiar with them. Things like paying any part of a fee or commission or any valuable consideration received from a real estate licensee to any person or entity that's unlicensed. So we get calls all the time. Can I pay this person a referral fee? No. You can give them a nice pat on the back. But if they are licensed, even licensed in another state, they can receive it. But these are things that our licensees should know. The second thing they should know is in the back, there's a 605 10-17-4. 10-17-4 is anything that you can get requirements for suspended. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. 10-17-4, prohibited dealings. And there are 23 of those. You should get to know those. If you don't get to know anything else in this book, 858-312, 605-10-17-4, get to know those. Those are the ones that usually end up in some type of violation. Okay, today we want to talk about 10-9-3 and 9-4, which is a little bit about advertising, marketing, things like that. They have a list of questions, but I'm going to let you guys throw questions at me also after we run through these. The first one is name of licensee. Does the advertisement include a trade name registered with the commission or the name under which a broker is licensed? The licensee, you can use your name. Just for instance, David Hall, I can use my name in the advertisement. It has to have broker reference with it. But if I put David Hall Realty, you're going to get a violation. That appears to, and it's not a registered trade name, you're going to end up with a violation. So put Realtor if you're part of if you're a member, right? Or David Hall agent or whatever. Don't put Realty, it appears to be a firm name. And so if you use a firm name that Susan has not registered as a trade name, you're going to get a violation. Questions? There is a form. It has to be registered with Susan and Keller Williams. My understanding, and I've been dealing with Pamela Suttles, is that Keller Williams is opening it up for, I don't know if I should say this in front of everybody or not. Keller Williams is opening it up where licensees' trade names can be registered under Keller Williams. Is that true? Well, Keller Williams in the past, if I had David Hall Realty and I wanted to advertise and use that, especially without Keller Williams, that might be a agency requirement to add Keller Williams to anything. But if you have it registered as a trade name, they don't have to, you can use that advertisement out there. I can say David Hall Realty. In the past, Keller Williams did not allow other people to register trade names. They only had KW, Keller Williams, ABW Inc., only those. So I don't know, have you been registering others? Okay. No, I'm talking about trade names, Right. From my understanding, that has opened up with Keller Williams. There are some other agencies in the city who have that now. So that would be something that you guys need to take up. But as long as Keller Williams registered it as a trade name, it can be used. Here's the thing, Keller Williams owns that. So you need to have something in place before she registers it, that when you decide to step out on your own, that she'll release it. Question in the back. Yeah.
What we want is Keller Williams Central Oklahoma.
Okay.
That's, that's our logo, that's our name. But we've registered a lot of things, probably a little more protection for us than anything else.
Right.
It should be Keller Williams Central Oklahoma.
That came out when we had to change.
When we had to change. Right.
That's right, right. And that's an OREC requirement, that you can't just use Keller Williams, because we wouldn't know, the public would not know which one. So it has to have whatever you are, elite, whatever. Any more questions on that one? Trade names. If the advertisement utilizes trade name, has your broker or entity registered the trade name with the commission? And we've just talked about that. Pretty much, we want you to take all your questions, all your concerns, all your registrations to, guess who? Susan. Then look, she's like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. But she's the one that has to register those. So she may require that you get it all together, maybe bring it to her, but she's the one that the commission that has to register it through her portal. And the commission will then give approval or denial to it.
Okay, David, you got it.
Okay.
What's the difference between a trade name and a team name?
A trade name is a name that you can operate under and it can stand alone. A team name is, first of all, a team is made up of 2 or more Oklahoma licensed, active Oklahoma licensed members. And so a team name cannot register by, it cannot advertise or market in its name by itself. When you use a team name, it has to have broker reference along with it. Did that help? Okay. Any others on that one? I know some wheels are probably spinning. Okay, okay.
Okay, so say for instance, of course, I'm a Keller Williams Central Oklahoma Realtor, but when I get my checks, it comes, or commission, it comes as Royalty Realty LLC.
So you have a registered pay entity with the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission. A registered pay entity is set up. It has to be registered with the Secretary of State as its own incorporated or LLC association. And it's only for the purpose of receiving payment. It cannot advertise. It can't do anything else but receive payment. That's the only thing it can do. And you're in good shape if you've got that. Now here's the kicker, because we got some weird stuff going on down towards the Arkansas Oklahoma border with yeah, such a fitting thing, right? So it's no sister stuff, but sister brother stuff. But they all right. So they have an issue with team names in that, remember I said it has to be an active Oklahoma licensee, 2 or more Oklahoma licensees. They have licensees that are on the border that are licensed in both, but they have a team name set up and they're the Oklahoma member, but they have an Arkansas member that is also part of the team. Can't happen in Oklahoma. 2 active Oklahoma licensees. So we're dismantling their whole situation and they don't like us right now. Okay. Pay entities are the same thing. We've been getting people who've been being paid in certain things who have not had those registered. One is a Keller Williams office, unfortunately, that I go to tomorrow. They are getting fined over $9,000. Now, here's the kicker. You might think that's a lot of money, but they had 26 people that were unregistered, 26 people that had unregistered pay entities that were being paid. We can go after the total amount earned. So $9,000 don't sound like that much now, does it? We can go after the total amount earned on each one of those that Keller Williams paid to those pay entities because they did not verify that they had those set up as pay entities. Yeah, man. She started it, right? She started it. Yeah, right. We just found out. Yeah. So that's the way I feel. I feel the same way. But I know you That's the first thing, and that's kind of off subject, but that's the first thing my mama would say when I brought somebody, who are your folks? Who are your folks? Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, it's it now. You said I'm on Zoom. Okay, I'm not. Certain things. Okay, all right. Yeah, if we did. No, no, we didn't. It's really no do-overs. Now here's what I do. When a complaint comes in anonymously, we have to follow up on it. I know y'all hate that word anonymous because y'all, there are competitors out there that don't like you guys when you get the first, your offer gets accepted and theirs is like second place. They're upset. So they're looking for they're looking at your yard signs, they're looking at everything. Well, when it comes in as a violation or a complaint, we have to follow up on it. If it's something that I see, I call Susan, hey, you need to get this changed. You need to reach out to whoever Facebook it is. And I say Facebook because here recently I spent 2 days a week searching through Facebook. And it's really gotten awesome because when I start looking up real estate stuff, guess what? More real estate stuff just starts popping in. So I spend 2 days a week on Facebook. So get your Facebook things together.
While you're talking about money and collecting stuff, address the issue where, and this was Tulsa, a licensee did not renew their license.
Yeah.
They practiced for, I think, a year and a half.
Right.
Without a license. Tell them what happened.
And well, what happens is when you don't renew, it's your responsibility. Now, I think there may be some little reminders that are sent out by the commission, but it is your responsibility to keep up with your expiration dates on your license, things like your classes, all of those things. It's your responsibility. And so particular licensee, it had lapsed and they say they didn't know. We don't know, but they say they didn't know, didn't recognize it for a little bit over a year. So we automatically go in and say, hey, how much was earned during that time? Because that's what we can go after, that full amount. We've had people who have earned upwards of $2-3 million that we can go after. And get this, the real estate commission has a maximum that they can go after on each case. But the case is by transaction. So if this person sold 200 houses during this time, we can go after the total amount earned for the total amount of each one of those transactions being one violation. Those can add up, guys. So, I mean, your license is like your driver's license. I let mine expire, wasn't paying attention, and guess what? I had to come up with birth certificate and all these different things that normally you just walk in, have your insurance and tag number and you pay for. But they took you through the gate. And when you let your license expire, it can create a snowball effect rolling downhill, and those fines are pretty much up there. And get this is how it goes. Complaint, or even if it's motion of the commission on something like that, we catch it, everybody gets the violation. So you're with Susan, so we go and we send the company has a license number, they get a violation. The managing broker, usually who is also the owner, so they get tagged twice a lot of time, they get a violation. Let's say you're at a branch office, even the branch office gets it, a branch broker, all the way down to that agent, everybody gets notice. We'll go after Susan for no supervision. You allowed the employee to do this or do that. And I know most of the time she's like, I did not. She's even fought a couple in our commission hearing room with the examiner. She's even fought. She said, I didn't know they did it. I didn't know they did. She threw you guys under the bus. You guys were the biggest speed bump, but I would have too. Yeah, I would have too. Because think about it. We get on impulse. We looking at Facebook and we're like, oh, we're gonna do this, and they hit publish. She has no idea. So you now gotten her mixed up in something. So now we start listening to the brokers saying, no, I didn't know that. They violated any rules that we have because there should have come through compliance. And so then we say, we're going to find the agent and we're going to give Susan an out. You hear that quietness? You hear how quiet that is? Yeah.
I mean, really, but a great example of that, I don't want to steal your thunder, but this just happened. We had an agent here that listed their own home for sale. And they did not in MLS put broker, not broker, agent.
Agent owner.
And they didn't have, well, it's a question about whether there was a writer on the sign. But the bottom line was, when I went to compliance, when I went to Amy to find out, you know, did we miss this? What happened on this? They had never even turned in their listing agreement to the office. And so it had not gone through compliance. So that is a great example of, we didn't have a clue that it was out there and it was not correct.
That's right.
So they cut us loose and whacked them.
Yeah. What? Go.
Bringing up Facebook, is Facebook the only social media that you follow?
No, no, but good, very good question. Very good question. Here's what needs to be on any social media. Now, we're still trying to work out kinks with, I think it's Instagram. We haven't even looked into TikTok. Okay, we haven't even looked into TikTok, but Instagram is more of a short video. So whatever you need to say your broker's reference. If you're talking about real estate and you mention so-and-so team, mention your broker's reference, the company that you're with. Okay, on Facebook and any other social media has either an about section, a bio section, or what have you. Put what you do and who you do it for. I'm so-and-so real estate agent or realtor if you're a member with Keller Williams, whatever yours is, Central or whatever it is. Put it there because I'm gonna go to the about section. We also like to see it somewhere in the photo on the landing page. The landing page is the page that pops up when you pull up Facebook. So when it pops up, you may have your team name, some building in the back, but somewhere down in the corner have the Keller Williams information. If it's there, it's gonna, and it doesn't have to be there. We like it to be there. That will keep us from getting calls saying so-and-so doesn't have their broker reference. Really what I'm gonna do when I pull up that page, if they send it in anonymously, I click on the about section, and if it's in the about section, I'm good to go with it. But we get more calls from it not being in that picture because they don't click on the about section. So that would help us from just receiving a bunch of calls. Yeah, calls that's basically a waste of time. Okay, so on most other social media, it may not be called the about section, but it's bio section. All of them have something else that you're able to put that in to identify who you are, what that page is about. Even if it's a personal page, if you're gonna start advertising properties and look at this property and sharing properties of others, other agencies, and put it in the about section just to cover yourself. Put it in there. Question. When you say document, what do you mean?
Put that in there as far as saying that there's a relationship there. Buyer's contract or anything else.
Well, yeah, you're gonna, hopefully you doing a buyer broker agreement. We've had problems with these before. And then anything else, you're representing yourself or in the contract also as that buyer's agent, because people will steal your folks. Let me tell you what they're doing. And this is why I know you guys get listings and you're covered under a listing. But if you have a buyer, you need to lock that buyer down too, even if it's just for this showing and this property. I would like to, if it was me, I'd like to sew it up for a period of time. You're going to be my buyer for the next 3, 6, whatever months. Then that's not specifically on a particular property. If that contract falls out, guess what? You're still with me for that period of time. But what we are seeing is, let's say this buyer comes and he has an agent in Oklahoma City and he says, I'm trying to buy a lake property down on Texoma, my favorite place. I'll be there Thursday, matter of fact, all right. So that they say, go down to Durant, find an agent, don't sign anything, look at the properties and come back and we'll get the contract going. Agent down in that part of the country shows them properties for 3, 4 weekends. You driving, gas is high, right? So that's like another bill now. So you showing them properties and you're driving them around, and then they come back and do a contract. They call that licensee calls the commission and say, this agent took my person and this and that. And the first thing I say is, send me your buyer broker agreement. And they say, well, what's that? You don't have a claim. You may be able to say you're the procuring cause on that particular property, maybe, but that's not an OREC thing. That would be a civil matter at that point for you to go and say, yeah, that's my person or what have you. But if you don't have a buyer broker agreement, nothing's stopping them from moving to another licensee. I say put it in place. Your time is money and you can't get back what you waste. So don't spend it with them. Question. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now here's where that's a problem. That's not a problem with us, OREC. That's a problem with the person that read it and signed it. Because I'm going to say, why did you sign an agreement like that? And then I'm going to say, take it to a civil court. If you get a judgment, I'll tell that licensee he has to back off. But you don't bring a judgment, there's nothing that we're going to do about it.
His question was, you got a listing and they're going to do somehow cousin, parents, children. You have to put owners related to yourself.
Yeah, family relationship. We only go immediate family. So immediate meaning the next level would be my wife. I wouldn't really carry over to my mother and father-in-law, brother and sister-in-law, but my wife, my kids, my parents, and probably my grandparents, and then we'll cut it off. Hey, we cousins. You want to know the good thing about that? There's 2 investigators for the state. I won't be able to investigate her. The other one will though. All right.
14 years.
All right.
I'm
Ooh,
scared.
that's a good one.
I think, John, I think your actual question was an answer, John,
What?
as a buyer. So yes, when you write an offer in a contract, that's when you know that, just like you would if.
You- Yeah, and I kind of go off of the OREC contract. Remember, our contracts are not mandatory. They're just available for you guys to use. So in our contract, I know there's a place for buyer's agent and the listing agent to sign. Am I right? That puts you in the mix. Does that answer the question? Okay.
No, I'm asking, are you saying as the buyer's representative and the buyer happens to be one of your children or your parents,
Mhm.
is it necessary that you put in that,
Disclose. you-
buyer's agent is related to buyer?
You have to disclose that relationship. Yes. Siblings, yeah, yes. And I mean, you guys can look it up, but it's actually in here. Yes.
So David, going back real quick to the Facebook.
Mhm.
There's been some confusion about this. So to give you an example, advertising on Facebook for an open house, okay? The initial page doesn't have the brokerage, but you click on the link to the listing and it's there.
Yeah,
In the about.
you're talking about on the individual advertisement within the page. I may never click on that link to get to that other stuff. So it needs to be on the page when it pulls up and in the about section. Because if I'm a person that never clicks on that particular link, I would never get to it. I would pull up an example, but I can't think of the one I did yesterday. I can't think of the name, but it was horrible. Yeah. But I mean, they even had it where on the picture, they had the Keller Williams in the picture, but it didn't show up on the Facebook. It was bigger than so you had to actually click inside the picture for the whole picture to pull up to even see the Keller Williams. It was hidden. So I didn't get them on that. I just said reposition that so it'll pop up. What I got him on is he had his name, Andrew. Oh, what is his name? I hate, yeah. I'm like Susan, I'll throw you under the bus, right? Our stuff is public information, right? So that you can get any type of violations, any type of cases that we have, you can get them. But anyway, he had his name and realty. He that wasn't registered. So I ended up getting him anyway. And I keep a smile on my face. I love you guys, but I'm not the one that fines. So don't get mad at me. Yeah, because that's where we're gonna look. We like it in the photo somewhere at the top, in the landing page. Hello.
Possible for us to get some samples of correct on the different social media? I was trained the new agents, I would love to have some samples to show them the correct way to do it.
Right.
Is that possible?
Can you pull up anything on here to put on the screen? Let me see. Okay, and we'll keep going, but I'm thinking of one that you guys might not like it. It's an EXP person.
Andrew used to work here.
Yeah, I'm sure
Used to.
And you can send us examples later.
Okay. Can you pull up anybody's face? Pull up that person's page. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Yard sign. Does the yard sign advertisement include the office telephone number of the listing broker? How many of you know the answer to this? What is it? It has that simple. A yard sign is different from any other advertisement. The yard sign has to have the office phone number. It can include cell phone numbers or anything else, but it has to have the agency phone number. Now, any other advertisement is found in 605-1094. Look under agents advertising, associates advertising. It can include several things. It does not have to, billboards, business cards, and that would be a good time for that question back there, but billboards, business cards, and any other advertisement other than yard sign can have cell phone only on it. But the yard sign has to have, now the billboards and those other things have to have broker information on it, but it can have cell phone. It does not have to have the company unless that's a requirement from Keller Williams. Of course, we're the minimum standard. They are the maximum. So if they say, yeah, that's an OREC thing, but we require this, then you still have to do it if you're under this agency.
We do always ask to review any big
Good.
marketing pieces like that. So.
Good. Okay, let's look at this one real quick, and then we're going to get to that question back there. So, right off the bat, when that page pulls up, he's got Josh Barnett with eXp Realty. I can see eXp Realty right there in the page. Click on the About section. Let's see if he has it there. Even if he doesn't, he's covered because he's got it there. But click on the About section, Let's see. Well, does it say anything about, other than the email address? We really don't. Yeah, see, he doesn't have it there, but that's where I wanted. Where? Go up, go back up. Well, yeah, we know it's there. It's not in that About section. That's where you guys need to put it, in the About section. But guess what? Because he had it in that photo, he's covered. He's got it there. Any questions? No, we're not looking for license number. And you got to realize that this thing was written even probably before Susan started. No, she did call me friend, but I'm a jokester too. I got tattoos on me, not a joker. So she didn't know it though. But yeah, that would be the case. So yeah. Any other question? It's some. Yeah, does somebody have music going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Somebody on Zoom. Mhm.
And on the business card, they wanted their team name, the broker reference to be there, all that was great. But under the person's name, they had wanted to put co-owner.
All right.
And you recently had a case about that, so talk to us.
Yeah, well, what happens with that, the co-owner is it can send a bad signal, or it could anything that misleads the public. You guys have to understand that we are a consumer protection agency, right? So we're protecting the public against you mean, evil realtors, right? Who are after our money. No, but we protect the public. So anything that can be misleading, and we have a violation for misleading the public, that possibly could give the appearance that they are the owners of, right? Now, let's say even if they are considered to be, or wanting to be considered the owners of that team name, who actually registers the team name? Right. So who would you say is almost the owner of that team name? even that could be misleading. Co-owners of what? You don't want to do anything that's misleading. Now, here's one thing about me and Reese, the other investigator. We didn't like the team name stuff. That's just us. I mean, that doesn't mean that it wasn't a good thing or branding is not good. We didn't really like it. We kind of say, if you want, when you want to step out on your own and wear Susan's big boy pants, you step out and you can do whatever you want under whatever name you want to. That's how the investigators looked at it. We do understand branding. Where Keller Williams and you guys have to be careful is because sometimes you can get messaging from corporate that is sending a message across the country, which some of the things that they talk about may be allowable in other states. You have to know what's allowable within what they're sending out in Oklahoma, right? I think there was one thing that came out, and we dealt with this with the other agency that I visited. They were saying that you do not have to use broker information in a team name. And if you go to team registration and team advertising, the first thing it says is you have to use a broker reference. It has to be registered, but you have to use a broker reference in a team name. But in Arizona, I'm not sure. I'm just going to throw out in Arizona, that might be the case. But you have to know what's important. That's why this is important for you in Oklahoma.
Signs, you guys worry about.
Uh-huh.
What's that? Quiet it down.
It has. We get, because like I said, you have most of our advertising complaints come from other competitors, right? So because you all pushed for that advertising and broker reference has to be at least 50% of, you can really go put a tape measure to it. Now we're not looking at the logo, but let's say your team name is in so-and-so font, then I could actually take a tape measure and the broker's information needs to be half of that, whatever that font is. We're not going out with a tape measure, but your competitors do. And they take a picture. I've gotten even stuff that they blurred out on purpose when they send it in as a complaint. Yeah, they're after you guys. So, I mean, that's kudos to you. You're doing something good, right? For somebody to go after you like that, but they're sending anonymous stuff. So I can't even go back after them for sending some false stuff to me. But they're going out with a tape measure saying this doesn't add up. And I'm like, I can see it from the street. We're not getting out with a tape measure. So even though we could. So yeah. Any other questions?
I've got one. So this has come up occasionally. If you have a listing and there's somebody else out there advertising it on Facebook or with an ad,
Good question.
what can you do?
Here's what happens when Susan set up the MLS. Mind you, the board and OREC are two different people. We don't even have access to it. We've been told that when MLS is being set up, there is some type of opt-in button that you would hit that is saying that anybody out there who's part of MLS who sees this can also advertise or share. They can't make it theirs without calling you, but they can share your information. So we really don't get involved with it. We say most people opt in. You'd have to show us where that didn't happen. Are you familiar with what the opt-in is?
Well, of course, everybody sends everybody else's listings out.
Right.
But if they advertise it, they have to put on there, well, first of all, they're supposed to get permission, but they have to put on there listing courtesy of.
Oh, Okay, now here's the thing. I'm not savvy with Facebook. I basically got Facebook. I have 3 nieces. I used to watch it because I would say that dress is too short. Get that picture off of there. Okay, so I'm not real savvy with it. So I'm not sure, like MLS or I don't know what you can do in MLS. I don't know the opt-ins. And I don't know when you share something on Facebook, does it just share it with the other brokerage's information like the ad looks, or does it make it like it's yours? So
There's a small little caption at the very bottom that says courtesy of. But other than that, it
That-
comes out looking like this.
yeah, but that would fit whatever. If you're able to share, we're out of the picture right there. As far as a requirement that they had to have that other, it's there from what you're telling me, courtesy of or whatever. Then it's all there. Right. Really, that's going to be a board issue because we say, like I said, we say if the opt-in button has been hit, and most people, I haven't found one yet, when they call a complaint, they say, we didn't opt into that. So more than likely, did you have a question? Oh, okay, okay. Any other questions?
You wanna just hit inducements briefly?
Yeah, inducements can happen. You guys can, y'all can throw it out there. Now, it can't be for a specific property, and it cannot be contingent on them purchasing. So if you're having an open house and you're giving away something, give it away. The only violation that you will get, like give a car away if you want to. They didn't even put an amount on it. The only violation that you're going to get is from me because you didn't put me in that drawing. We're going to have a problem, okay? I need to be in all drawings, but inducements can happen. You just cannot do it for a specific property, and it cannot be contingent on somebody just purchasing. Everybody who comes into that house or everybody who likes your page, if you say like my page and you'll get a Cutco knife set, then everybody who likes your page gets in that drawing. But the moment you say, purchase a house from me, that's contingent. Somebody has to purchase in order, right?
David, in this world we're living in, things we're trying all different ways.
Go back and say what you just said.
What's going on in the market?
Did you say mobile?
Multiple-
Oh, multiple. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I've got a buyer, I'm making an offer,
Mhm.
I let the listing broker know I'll give up 1% of my commission,
Okay.
you know, help net the seller money. Am I inducing that buyer?
You are.
So what if I'm paying seller's closing costs? Am I inducing that person?
You are.
Is there a proper way to stay away from it completely?
Stay away from it completely in that manner. You can give up commission at the very beginning. Like you have these, Adams Family Real Estate. They are a flat fee agency. They advertise that from the beginning. It doesn't change per client. That's what it is. So if you're going to offer a cut rate commission, it needs to be at the very beginning. Now, here's what we have allowed. It would still be a violation. So don't say, well, David said it's not a violation. This would be a violation, but we've had situations that have come down to closing and a payoff was off and somebody didn't have it and you needed to get the closing done and both realtors said, we'll give up so-and-so to get it done. That's perfectly fine.
One more question.
Okay.
Would that be considered similar on a TRR? Where you gave up 500, don't make a fair amount.
No. We're talking about, no, that's actually paying for somebody's TRR to get that deal done. At the end of the day, that can't be done. I'm talking about some emergencies at the end where we're at come to closing. You know how they're kind of late getting that payoff information and everything for closing. And then they get it and they're like, whoa, that's more than what we thought it was going to be. Now actual numbers are coming through and they're like, there's no way I've spent everything I have to try to get this deal done. And as a seller, I don't have any more. So this closing is about to collapse. And both realtors get together and say, that's a little bit different than TRR. That's basically paying somebody. That's almost rebate. Which no, it needs to be in closing. And see, at that point, by the time you get to closing, you're already past TRR and TRR dates and dates to back out. So no, I would say no. You say?
I feel like, just put the handcuffs on me and take me away.
Okay.
And honestly, I can say that, but we had two big multiple offer situations this week. One with 30 offers.
Woo.
And one with 4, and that was a big high price home. And in those offers, we saw all those things.
Mhm.
The realtor cutting their commission. We offered 3% selling broker. They wanted to reduce it by 1, so they were willing to take 2.
Right.
What's the other one you said?
No. And now get this. And
But I mean, these were things that came to us.
right.
And, we're seeing it. I mean, we're not people that are turning people in.
Right.
I mean, thank you for bringing that.
Yeah.
Guys, so when we're submitting offers in those home offices.
It's all about timing too. Yeah, timing and when you bring those things to Susan and to work those out. Now, let me give you with the commission and me and Reese, the only person or people that can turn somebody in are in that situation. I'm not telling you to do wrong or to skirt the situation. But if that doesn't come to us, our hands are off. He's like, yeah, I get you. I got you. That's true. If all of these parties are in agreement and you guys work it out and it does not come to the commission, no foul, right? Everybody close.
It's their house, and they decide that they're realtors. We're spending the fine, they bring that complaint to.
No, it's already going to be too late for us because I probably shouldn't tell you guys this, but when a deal is closed, real estate commission is done. Go to the courthouse. If you want me to look at it any further, go get a judgment from a judge, which is probably not going to happen. But it's like, here's my question to a lot of people. They start telling me about situations and we closed on it a year ago. So then I say, back up just a little bit. This is not a current, this is something you closed on. Oh, okay. This one's easy. You need to call an attorney, file some type of civil matter because we're done with it. Inspections, I didn't like that inspection in this. Did you sign off on it? You closed, matter of fact, so you really did sign off on it. REC is out of the picture. Now, I might call you, if they file a complaint, I might call you to see what happened. But I'm not investigating. We're not opening up a case. And if they filed one that came through, we're dismissing it.
On the front end, you just have a listing agreement. 6% commission, 3%.
Okay.
But you have variable dual rate, check, all that. An agreement that if would reduce the commission from 6% to 5%. Still getting the fire rate of 3, just leaving yourself with 2. So
That-
anything illegal about that?
That's a good question. When does that happen you said it, at the front end? And what did I say can be done? Those things need to be done at the front end. So that person would be fine with reducing it.
So I had actually fire that I'm supporting right now, but and he's looking for a house at a significant price range, but I called this realtor that has been on and off the market since last November. And in the conversation, she said, well, if you can expire the contract, I'll give you an additional $1,000
Yeah.
bonus. We'll write it into the contract.
Mhm.
It'll go through. Yeah, there was a-
Right.
Was that okay or not?
That was just fine. They can pay they can pay whatever bonus that they want to pay. And guess what? Don't investigate people who are not licensed. So as the seller, they can do whatever they want. They can give you the whole kit and caboodle, right? And there's nothing that I can do about it. They can give you all kind of bonuses. I can't go and investigate that individual. That's not what we do.
Okay, I just want to say one thing about that. When you're working on commission and there's a change like that, or there's going to be a bonus and maybe they don't have an active listing, whatever, that is not dealt with on the contract.
On the contract.
Because that is an agreement between the buyer and the seller. You need to deal with that on a compensation
A good
agreement or a
agreement.
cooperative agreement, which one applies. So commission should never be discussed in the purchase contract.
Now
She's the broker
Uh-huh.
who's selling her own house.
Okay, but I
still-
understand, but it's still on a compensation agreement.
but here's a kind of a caveat to that. People who are not part of MLS or your MLS, you don't have to necessarily work with them. So if you are working with them, they sometimes write it in the contract to protect themselves. They probably should do an agreement, a compensation agreement, but they want it on everything that they possibly can, because technically a person of Edmond MLS doesn't have to work with somebody who's not a member of it. They could say, I'm not allowing you to show that house, or I'm not allowing you to sell that house, or you're not getting compensation from it. So they usually want it written everywhere that they possibly can get it. So. Oh, okay. I thought somebody was online asking a question. I was like, yeah, and let me say this also. You guys got me, so I don't know how long this meeting is, but I'm yours for the day. When I leave here, I'm going home. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're fine. You end it when you need to, but I'm here. I'm yours. So.
And it's back to when the deal is closed, the deal is closed. Or it's the deal of commission, claim against you or your whatever. How long is the statute of limitations?
I'm glad you asked that, because I do have to come back when it's when
How long to take paperwork, because I'm a paper person and I'm trying to scan it in, but I don't want to keep
Okay.
20 years or 15 years.
Well, let me cover two things with you. We do not have a statute of limitations. Our record retention is 5 years. Everything's digital now, so we're shredding paperwork at the office and cases, because everything is digital now. So it's kind of permanent. But for you guys, records are only for so long. We will go back on a case if it is something legitimate. We can still investigate those cases. If it's something so egregious, I'll give you an example. In Tulsa, why Tulsa? Yeah, they've gotten much better. They have. I'm glad, because I couldn't pay the gas that I was going up there 3 times a week at one point. And there was a realtor who was under a managing broker who was managing property, had quite a few properties. This realtor wanted to buy and start a property management company. So another agent that the broker knew was going out of business that did property management. So he bought that person's business and acquired those properties into his fold with the intention on selling the business to the sales associate that was under it, right? So the sales associate opens his own business, leaves the brokerage. Here's how the deal went. You can buy this agency for $20,000. All of the security deposits from the original seller came over to the new one. He said, I'll sell this to you for $20,000. And he said, here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to keep these security deposits and you pay the security deposits back. And that's how the transaction went. Not the way the transaction went. And it was years later. And it came up in a conversation. And I was like, well, what now? You cannot, that's properties of others that if he wanted to sell that business, he should have said, you owe me $20,000. Here are the security deposits. Those security deposits are monies of others and should have just been transferred. But he pocketed those. So I got him and the other one. But what they didn't have a problem for years because as long as he was paying it back, but he got cancer, had to start downsizing. And when those people start leaving, asking for their security deposits back, there were no security deposits because he made this flaky deal. So I got the one that made the deal, the original deal, and I got him for making the deal and not having those people's money. So, I mean, it was quite a few violations. I actually had a guy, yeah, in Tulsa, yeah. And part of their response and defense was he's on his deathbed. And I was like, can he get on a phone call at the hearing? They had to get a representative. 5 years. So if somebody comes, we don't have a statute of limitation, but even if it's something that we would investigate, we're going to say, there's no records. There's nothing there is nothing we can do without records on this situation. So. They shouldn't take a commission. I think what they should do is negotiate that within the price. If they take a commission, our code and rules says that any commission that you receive has to go through who? So you stand the possibility of having to pay your broker, unless they're nice enough to say it has to come through me. As long as it comes through me, I'll go ahead and pay it. Why not just negotiate it off the price? I'm not sure what company policy is, but why not? To me, that's just smart.
Well, yeah, because, but what he's saying is that is legal to do that if you're the one buying the property.
Right.
And what we always teach on that. Oh, yeah. What we always teach on that is you can have the seller and market other than this, seller in lieu of paying the commission, they pay you closing costs, prepays or whatever. And that way, technically, you're not getting that income.
That's right. So it's smart. Right.
So, and that is our company policy.
Okay.
Once
Okay.
they've done a certain amount of production,
Yeah, but even if you received the commission, it still would have to come through you, whether you paid them all of what it is, right? They. Mhm. Right. I know we got some other questions out there, right? Do you guys have any on here that we need to cover that we didn't? We dealt with referral. Say that again?
Amy's our compliance person, so she.
I need to get to know you, right? Yeah.
I use some terms, but right now it's.
We've always
politically
gone round and round
incorrect.
on estimates, like estimate costs, so are they required for every?
Every offer and every price change.
Okay, and then also on, does it need to be, can it be on, you know, the title company's numbers, or does it need to be on the OREC approved one?
I didn't know we had an approved form, but we're not, here's the thing. So it can be however you get it. Here's what we're looking for in an office inspection. Maybe that'll help. If you list a property, why not get a title company or somebody to initially do an estimated based off of the price? Because when we come in, all we're looking for is one. I know you're supposed to have them with every change, but we're looking at for one. When we see one, we say they're probably taking care of what business they need to take care of. And they have them. We're not looking for, okay, the price changed here. We need one here. Price changed here. We're not. Me and Reese, we're good people. I promise you.
So we change it for $1, y'all not looking for that.
We're not looking for it. So I say, why not come up with an estimated when you list the property and just put it in the file? And then you're covered. You're covered. You're covered. Now, what you should do and what we're looking for, two different things. Right.
I think it's important though, if you're a process, take less from it, better.
Yeah.
So that they understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
Also on offers that come in, they're supposed to do one for that buyer. Depending on which side we've got. Doing a contract for a buyer, we're gonna do one for them, but when you're presenting an offer to a seller, you need. to
That's when
work
it-
with them on
right,
that offer,
Right.
because trust me, they're going to forget all about what they saw.
Yeah.
at listing.
At the same time, though, if you have an offer, you have it projected where you think you can end up, what you may do and what is do to make it agree. While you're sitting there on different price points, you can say, okay, if we went back to this is what.
Yeah.
Normally, you're gonna catch.
Somewhere in there. Right. Now we have a saying in the commission. And it'll be a good one for you to adopt too. Hey guys, you don't have a problem until you have a problem. I've seen brothers and sisters take each other, file complaints on it. I've seen husband and wife. So just because they're a friend and things like that, don't think I'll get to it later or this. You don't have a problem until you have a problem, until they file that complaint or they give us a call and we start digging. You know, we had a situation with, I'm not gonna give you the name of this one, but we got a call and it's never a problem, like I said, until it's a problem, but we got a call from a property owner that a property management company wasn't turning over their funds, their proceeds. They didn't explain or turn over invoices, contractors' invoices, things, so they knew what they were paying for. So, and it's a big company here in Edmond. They have over 500 properties that they manage. And when I got that call, I called the broker immediately and I said, me and my other investigator, we're showing up tomorrow at 8 o'clock. This is what I need. I need bank statements, ledgers. I went through the whole gamut. I need copies of rental agreements. I need everything you got. And he was like, yep, okay, not 8 o'clock, I'll have it together. We get there that next morning and we're sitting there and two people came in and said, have you guys received any phone calls or anything? And we're like, no, we hadn't even checked our computers. We went straight from home and met at the facility, at the office. They said, well, David, 2 hours after you called the managing broker, he committed suicide. All right. Pretty sad situation, right? And I looked at him, I said, well, who's going to get my documents that I need? I mean, I still got a job to do, right? So then when we start looking further into it, he had remarried a wife in California. He was going to back and forth to California twice a week. Every picture on Facebook had the ocean in the background. So he was whining and dining or whatever, over $1 million, and his partner knew nothing about it. Knew nothing about. Do you guys do property management?
I was gonna have you address that.
Well, the reason I asked is they got all these violations, right? But they have security deposits that are missing because of this, right? So they've been taking new things, and somebody leave, they pay, so they don't have a problem. But I go back and follow up on my investigation and the fines, and it's like nothing has been paid back. I mean, they paid the fines and did this and did that, but they haven't recovered those people's security deposits. Haven't even, nothing. They haven't said, well, we have this much in and this and that. So now I'm at the point that I'm getting ready to have to find a place to take 500 clients and start dishing them out. Can you take some? Do you do property management? Can I give you 100, 200 property? Because they're not even trying. And it's difficult when you start going in trying to shut down a business, and we do. I mean, Sherry, one of our previous executive directors, deputy directors, she had a situation where she was going to close down an office or get some files. The guy tried to beat them, but met at the same time when they drove in. So they got in the office, the deputy director and the head investigator, and they start getting the files. He calls from his truck, tells the inside secretary to bring him something. Luckily, Sherry had already called the sheriff too. So the sheriff met out there and he said, no, you're not going. He called for Sherry to come out to his truck. The sheriff got a pistol off of him. He was going to shoot her. But think about it. We're coming in. It's serious business because we're coming in and we're shutting down a business that's your income. Pretty lucrative income, I would say. And he knew he wasn't right, and we coming in to shut him down. He was going to shoot Sherry. I don't have no doubt. But your business is very important, and you never want to be put in those type of positions. So just do what you have to do. Any other questions before we kind of wrap?
So let me tell you the good news about this. David said, all we have to do is call him and he'll come back. So I'm thrilled to hear that. I think this is one of the greatest services the Real Estate Commission can do for us. And I would like for you all to appreciate David. He'll probably hang around here for just a minute if you all have a particular question you want to ask him. But anyway, he's a great guy. He really is. Let's see, Ted, Do you have, I'm sure, are you sure? Okay. Robin, do you mind coming up here? So, yes. Yes, David has handcuffs. David has handcuffs. He's going to take you away with me. I mean, you know. Anyway, this very untraditional meeting, and it's going to continue to be one for just a moment. I did ask Robin to lead us in the prayer at the end of this meeting today. And so it's all yours. Oh, and here's.
Right.
Yeah, you do. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
You got to pull it up, put it up.
It's on. Okay. I think we're going to be praying for our offices over in Europe and what's going on over there. So if you'll bow your heads. Our dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you that we have a nation that we can come together and seek you out in prayer, that we can come before your throne with these requests. And we just appreciate you so much that we just love you, that we can do that we have the freedom to do that. And today we just want to come before you and just pour out our hearts and pray for these folks over in Europe and what's going on over there. And most of us don't really probably understand everything that's going on, but we know people are being hurt. We know that property is being destroyed. We know that lives are at risk all the time. And we just want to lift those folks up to you. We have Keller Williams offices and agents over in Europe in various countries, and we just pray for them and for their safety. We pray for our soldiers that are over in Europe, pray for their safety and pray for their protection. And Father, we know that whatever your will is in this situation, we know that you're in control. We know that whatever it is, that it will ultimately glorify you. And we just pray these things to glorify your name and to lift those people up to you and ask for their special protection. And we just pray that you'd continue to bless our nation and bless us as we seek to do your will here at home, and to just bless us in our business, that we can be good representatives for you in all that we do. And we just pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. You all have a great day.
Does David's talk with us this morning down to see?